Welcome back to Surviving Schizophrenia with Stephen. I'm Steve, Stephen's dad. And what we're witnessing here in the last 2 weeks on Stephen's YouTube channel is absolutely phenomenal. And it's what I would term a further awakening. And it's an incredible point in Stephen's life. And I want to document it right here for Stephen's purposes later, and also for you that are watching, and to document this so we can discuss it with Stephen's psychiatrist and his therapist, which we have not done yet. So it's what I would term a further awakening in schizophrenia. An awakening in schizophrenia is classically considered a dramatic improvement in a patient's return to normalcy through clozapine treatment. So to put this in context, I'll put a slide up right now and walk you through it, showing you when Stephen was first an awakener. So as you'll see at the top here, we titrated onto clozapine in June of 2013. If you recall, Stephen fell ill in early 2012, was diagnosed first at UCLA Resnick Neuropsychiatric Hospital with schizophreniform disorder. That was the end of May 2012. And then later that year, the UCLA Neuropsychiatric Department diagnosed with schizophrenia and an anxiety disorder. So you'll see here, June 2013, we titrated to clozapine. We'd been on Abilify before that and Zyprexa as well. And you'll see here, June 2013, we start Clozaril, which is clozapine, at 12.5 milligrams a day, along with Abilify at 15 milligrams a day. And the reason why you're seeing Abilify there is that we had titrated up with Stephen to, I believe, 22.5 milligrams of Abilify, and it wasn't bringing him back to reality. So this had gone on now for well over a year. We had tried other antipsychotic drugs, and they weren't working to bring Stephen back. He was not an awakener at that point. He was seriously ill still, and he did not have an understanding that he was ill. So that's how seriously ill he was. So the psychiatrist did not taper down on Abilify and then start tapering up on Clozaril. So that's what you'll see here. His psychiatrist, he was on 15 milligrams of Abilify. We started titrating on clozapine, maintaining the Abilify. And then you'll see January 2014, the Clozaril level was 175 milligrams a day, and Abilify was 15 milligrams a day. And we have there, Stephen is an awakener. And we filmed a short video on this, Awakening from Schizophrenia, describing this phenomenon and giving further information there. So you might want to take a look at that video if you have not seen it yet. But that's when Stephen was an awakener from schizophrenia. He was clearly an awakener, and that's what his psychiatrist saw. That was January 2014, and that's what we saw as well. So we're talking, almost 2 years, close to 2 years after the psychotic break. And what that means is we saw a dramatic improvement. He came out and back into reality. That was the dramatic improvement. Prior to that, he didn't understand that he was even ill. And many people suffering from severe schizophrenia, or what I might call treatment-resistant schizophrenia, they don't come back fully and participate in life. They're always in a state of, I think, some psychosis, and there's some cognitive decline and negative symptoms. So what we saw with Stephen, and what we call as an awakener, what his psychiatrist calls as an awakener in 2014 for Stephen, is that he came back to the knowledge and the awareness that he was ill. And he still had very severe symptoms of schizophrenia, the negative symptoms: social withdrawal, flat affect, extreme anxiety, and some cognitive issues, trouble reading, remembering things. But he understood he was ill, and he was not psychotic. The delusions and hallucinations had lifted, and he wasn't hearing any voices or any of that stuff. So further down, you'll see that we reduced, in June 2014, skipping down on this chart, you'll see we reduced Abilify to 10 milligrams a day, and at that point had titrated up to 200 milligrams a day of clozapine. And then in February 2015, reduced Abilify again to 5 milligrams. And Clozaril, clozapine at that point was 200 milligrams still. And then January 2017, you'll see the Clozaril milligrams was 175 a day. Abilify was 5 milligrams a day. And we added reduced clozapine at that point. And we had started Lexapro a little bit earlier, and he was on 15 milligrams of Lexapro at that point. That's January 2017. And that was the last major change in his medication. He currently is on clozapine 170 milligrams a day, Abilify 5 milligrams a day, and 5 milligrams of Lexapro. So it's been about 7 years, 8 years, coming up on 8 years with no change in medicine. Now, since January 2017, where he's been on the same medication he is now, we have seen steady and good improvement in his mood, his affect, and he's made significant progress over these years. But what he has achieved now in the last 2 weeks, as you've seen on these videos, it's been played out live. It's absolutely stunning because to see the transformation, because Stephen started recording about 5.5 months ago. So if you look back on those early videos that he did only 5.5 months ago, you'll see an incredible transformation that has occurred in the last 2 weeks. So in the last 2 weeks, what we've witnessed on YouTube, on Stephen's YouTube channel, Surviving Schizophrenia with Stephen, and I think it's getting close to thriving with schizophrenia with Stephen, but we'll see. I don't know if the Google Analytics would like that if Stephen changed the name, but he's not. But what we've seen is absolutely incredible. And it started about, I'll put up a chart here. It started about 2 weeks ago, as I say, when Stephen recorded the Hope and Mental Illness Recovery video. And I have a comment I'll show that you'll see here on the screen. 10 days ago. It says, 10 days ago, I'm Steve, Stephen's dad. I cried when Stephen showed me this video. It's a new day. Love you, Stephen. And what happened there was, and again, that was 10 days ago, it was a comment. And that video was shot about maybe 14 days ago or 13 days ago. It was very close in time to when the comment was made. When the video aired is when Stephen shot that video. And when he came home and showed us that video, yes, I teared up and I cried. It was absolutely amazing. The first time that I had heard Stephen use the word hope and happiness in a sentence in a long time. I mean, since the onset of the illness in 2012, since before that. So extremely long time. It's hard to explain in words how moving that was and how phenomenal that was. And so it really is a marker in his life history of improving and surviving schizophrenia. And that's why I wrote, it's a new day. I mean, it's a new decade. So then you'll see at the top, 3 days ago, this is my comment on the happiness and self-worth in schizophrenia video. And I say there, the amazing thing here is the power of the human spirit and the plasticity of our brain. Stephen has been on the same medication over the past 4 years. So what has enabled this further awakening? So it's actually been almost 8 years, right? Not 4. It's amazing. I got back and looked at the chart and you'll see the medication chart there. Absolutely amazing. So in the happiness video, we see, for the first time in this week and a half period, he's using the words happiness, joy. He's got a sense of purpose back. And you have given that to him. I mean, he did that. He was the starter for it. He started this YouTube channel, Surviving Schizophrenia with Stephen. And it would not have started. I didn't start it. Maria didn't start it. And no one encouraged him, other than his therapist and his psychiatrist. But his therapist did encourage him. And we were supportive as well. And his psychiatrist is very supportive of these videos. So it was just within Stephen and perhaps Gayla, his therapist, that this really came, his desire then to start this YouTube channel really came together. And it's just amazing. And so the further awakening that we've seen here is, obviously originated from Stephen and his desire to do this, but it's because of you. You have given us our son back. You have given us our son back. It's viewing his videos. It's your viewing of those videos. He sees, the views, your comments. When he reads your comments, discusses his comments, some of them sometimes with us, others he'll just reply himself, but he replies to every one of your comments himself. They're all his replies. But sometimes he'll read and reply. Other times he'll say, hey, Mom, Dad, what do you think about this? How should I respond? What do you think? We talk it through sometimes. Absolutely amazing. And this whole process, of him responding, Stephen responding to your comments and shooting all these videos has been incredibly therapeutic. And that's what's enabled this further awakening. It's remarkable. It's remarkable in part because it was not the medication. The medication alone did not do this. He did not achieve this further awakening with just the medication. It was you and the human spirit and the neuroplasticity of the human brain. And I want to explore this more with researchers, scientists, therapists, and psychiatrists. And we'll do that over the course of the next year or two or three as we just continue surviving schizophrenia. And so this doesn't mean, though, that he has no symptoms of schizophrenia, no remaining symptoms. He has serious symptoms of the illness remaining. He's has some serious negative symptoms of the illness, which are largely depression and anxiety, which could be brought about somewhat by the medication, but it's not the medication, it's the illness. So I'm thrilled to see where Stephen's going to go in the future. We're here to support him. You're here to support him. We thank you again very much for giving our son back to us and enabling this further awakening by viewing his videos and by commenting on those videos and by subscribing, but primarily by commenting and viewing the videos. It's very, very much appreciated. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to show you a couple video clips from the I Have Hope Again video. So that's the hope and mental illness recovery in schizophrenia video, and then the happiness and self-worth in schizophrenia video. So those two videos shot just in the last 14 days that are up on his channel here. Well, I'll take a video. I just want to show you just a short, maybe 30-second video clip from each one of those to help put this in context. But again, remember, when he fell ill in January of 2012, it was 2 more years before he understood that he was ill. He was seriously ill, and had he become or had this illness 40 years ago or 50 years ago, he would be in an insane asylum. He'd be locked away. Yeah, and I don't say that. I don't say that easily. I don't say that easily. That's how seriously ill Stephen was. So let's see the video clips, maybe 30 seconds each, and then let's bring Stephen in. He's sleeping right now, so as soon as he gets up, what we'll do is we'll watch this video together. He knows that I'm shooting it right now, and we'll watch it, maybe do a little bit of editing. That's up to him, and then let's bring him in to comment if we can get his comments on this. And as I said, we haven't. We're going to take this to his psychiatrist, to his therapist. Will see this, and we're going to explore, what we can do further. But this is an amazing further awakening. Thank you very much. And here's the video clips, and then we'll have Stephen on.
But it's hitting me more now, that how important hope is, and then I'm so glad I have it again. And for anyone out there that's going through, maybe they have schizophrenia or some really rough times, and you might feel there is nothing that's going to happen in the future that will change, that your life will always stay how it is now. I thought that too, but things changed, and I regained my hope. And you know what? I'm feeling pretty much better than I have now, than I ever have before, since the onset of my schizophrenia. And that's just so great. I am so very happy right now that I feel I'm coming back to life, I'm coming back to more where I was before, but in a different way, I don't have a life I had before. I don't expect that life to ever come back, and I don't really want it to. I've changed a lot, and I think for the better in a lot of ways. You may recognize this place as the place where I shot my hopeful video, where I was actually hopeful for the first time in, oh gosh, I don't know how long. And if you haven't seen that video, please check it out. But this is almost a follow-up to that video. Now, I'm starting to look forward to the future instead of looking back to the past. Now, for a long time, I have just been focusing on everything I've lost in the past, where I focused on all the friends that I could have made, and then the friends I lost as well because of my schizophrenia. I looked back on all the hardships I've faced and all the horrible experiences I've been through. But things have changed, and I'm starting to look forward to the future instead of looking back to the past. Now, one thing that's really helped has been this YouTube channel and all your amazing comments that I've been receiving. Now, I may have said this in videos before, but it helps me a lot. Like, a lot. It gives me a sense of pride in my work and just a sense of accomplishment. I actually feel good about myself.
Hi, welcome to Surviving Schizophrenia with Steven. My name is Steven. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm here with my dad today,
I'm Steve, Steven's dad,
and he just finished recording a video.
and it's on a further awakening in schizophrenia. And I wanted to ask Steven, what are your thoughts on it? You watched the video?
Yes, I have. I thought it was amazing. Yeah. It just feels good. I didn't think of it as like a second awakening until my dad mentioned that to me. But it is. And it feels very good to be happy and hopeful again.
And what do you attribute the happiness and hopefulness, just what?
To all of you, actually. Everyone that watches this channel has left comments, has liked the videos. That's helped. That has helped so much. I think I said this in a recent video, but it's so true.
And when do you feel, Steven, that really started and came to fruition?
Came to fruition maybe about 2 weeks ago. So not long.
Wow. That's amazing. You've had your channel for 5.5 months.
Yeah, slowly. I think it was building up to this, over the last 5.5 months or so. I've been feeling steadily better. But really in the last 2 weeks, maybe 3.
And what about your cognitive? Have you seen or felt any more clarity in your ability to think? Cognitive ability?
Yeah, I think maybe a little. I just feel a little less... I guess I'm not as stressed out as much, maybe?
Oh, that's awesome.
I think that's probably what's helping with the my clarity of thought, because I'm not as anxious about some of the things I was anxious about before, because it's been very cathartic to talk about all this on YouTube, especially having all of you being very supportive as well. Yeah.
That's awesome. I just would remark, I think it was the hopeful video that you shot, Steven, when you came back. That's the one that I shed a tear on.
Yeah.
And I think you shot it twice before you came back. I think was that the one you shot twice, and that you really had your thought.
No, that was happiness.
That was happiness. So Steven's thought process was so linear. I was struck by. So that was the happiness.
Yeah.
So Steven, but you went out there, you shot it, and then you gathered your thoughts again together and shot it again?
I did.
Can you explain just briefly?
Yeah, no, I recorded the first one, and I was going to head back home, and I was like, well, it was good, but it wasn't great, so why not try it again? I recorded it again, and I thought it was very good.
Yes, I mean, they were both excellent. They were shot, again, back-to-back by Steven on one of those...
Walk and talks that I've been doing.
One of his walk and talks. And what you saw was what was posted, the happiness, is the second version of that. Very similar to the first, but that second version, Steven, his thought process, you see there, just very linear, and it wasn't edited together.
No. I cut the very beginning and the very end, because, I have to hit record and stop recording, that's it.
So that's why I was struck by how linear his thinking was. He didn't have to stop, start, and he didn't jump around. It's just incredible. So yeah, we're seeing a second awakening or a further awakening.
Yeah.
Thanks to you. So thank you.
Definitely. It's you and all the people joining me on my journey on my YouTube channel that has made this possible.
So that's wonderful, Stephen, and we're so proud of you. So just can't say enough.
Thank you.
So can't say enough. Cannot say enough.
Alright, I think that's all we got for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a happy and healthy rest of your day.
Have a great day. We'll see you in the next video.
Bye.